stream on a few other people's streams as well. I think, believe we're live on James's channel right now, M0GQC. You can go over there.
Literally just gone live. I had a slight technical issue, but I believe we are live now. So
we're live on James's channel as well. Fine. What we're having a bit of fun tonight because we're deconstructing the mess from last Saturday night. Where how many people joined in last Saturday night?
There were 8 of us in the end.
And how many participants joined us, do you think? 220 different call signs or something, wasn't there?
261 unique call signs. Now, some of those call signs will be people just scanning through the band who
of course.
Just so happened to find us. So that won't be, strictly speaking, everyone that took part. But
that's fine.
261 unique call signs. And, if you're interested, a total of 604 QSOs between all of the channels.
Okay. Oh, well, that'll keep our allocation alive.
I think we definitely caused a bit of a stir.
A couple of old-timers. Andy Cowley, G5STU, he is sitting in the background. Now, Stu did all the analysis for us because he's a bit of a coder and he's got some fancy software. He did all the analysis. But there are a number of stations, James, that contacted everybody. But before we do go to who contacted all of us and who did it the fastest time, maybe we just put each of us on the spot. And I'm just going to say I had a really good time. I really had a good time. I was remote, so there was about a 1 second delay. But having everybody's spot on the screen, that was good fun, wasn't it? You could see where everybody was. And I just had we did about 2 hours, was it, I think, James?
Yeah, I think some people did an hour, some people did 2 hours. I mean, I stuck it out till we were about just after 11, I think we
And then
finished,
I cheated because I intentionally went 5 minutes early so I could have a little chit-chat and then go live. So my first contact was 1 minute before the actual go live time.
Nothing like a bit of controversy.
Yeah. So did you have a good time? Let's go to Simon, shall we? Simon, did you have a laugh, mate? Was it good fun?
Yeah, I certainly did. Yeah, hi everybody, how are you doing? And hello on the DX Commando channel. I'm currently watching on my computer as well. But yeah, good. They were brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I was late to the party. I forgot to press the button, as you said. But once we got in there, surprisingly, how much activity actually came up. It was crazy.
It was huge, wasn't it?
But yeah, non-stop calling. Thanks to everybody who called. Obviously, anybody couldn't work, do apologise and we'll get you next time.
Yeah. Simon, give us a quick 10-second rundown of your station. What were you using on Saturday night?
Yeah, for the majority of the time I was on the homemade 4080 fan dipole, which is about 30 feet. It's a more of an inverted V for the actual 40-metre band. And the radio was the FT-DX 101 MP with a full 200 watts. My microphone is the M70, and I didn't have no amplifier, obviously, on that particular night. I do have run amps, but just running the barefoot power, because I feel there's going to be quite a few M7s, M3s, M6s.
Yeah.
A shout. There's no point in being too loud.
Simon, tell me, do you run a separate antenna into your other VFO if you've got the 101?
Do I do what? So more than one antenna?
Have you got two VFOs?
Three antennas into that particular radio.
Yeah. So do you manage to press all the buttons and get two completely different antennas on receive by any chance?
I can do that if I want, but I don't.
It's really cool sound.
My noise is very quiet, actually. So when I'm located, it's a low noise level, especially on 40 meters.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Well, I ran the. Sorry, did I interrupt Jonathan there?
I was just saying that's Yorkshire for you, just quiet.
I ran the Kenwood equivalent of you, Simon, on the 990. I've got the two VFOs. I've got a vertical in my left ear and a horizontal on my right ear, and I find the kind of stereo effect really lovely. You have to give it a go sometime. Anyway,
I'll try that out.
I just
mainly operate out the old school. I can obviously do the auto through the radio, but I like to have the physical switches. So you might see my hands flicking around a little bit, and I like to.
We don't want to know about that. So Colin, let's do Colin now.
It was great. Really enjoyed it. So I'm always kind of operating here from the garage just because, I just make too much noise in the house if I'm going on the radio at night, certainly with SSB. Yeah. So I had a bit of a free day last Saturday, so I actually made the effort and actually lugged the ACOM down here.
Oh, did you?
Yep, and set that up. So I had the 7300, a Dacom 1000, and it was a bit of a howler weather-wise, so I had great intentions of putting a vertical as well as my off-center fed dipole, which I have up all the time. So I didn't bother with the vertical, and I just run the off-center fed dipole. But setting up, I did a little test in the morning. Great, 40 meters. I'm getting kind of S6, S7 of noise, but just before the stream, it was S9 and just a little bit over. So I need to really apologise to everyone. So I don't know what happened. I mean, and I stay in an area and it's mostly old people, so they don't have a lot of electronics. But I don't know what happened. There wasn't anything in particular. It was just a high noise floor. So that I know that I missed a lot of people. And 20 meters was fine, but 40 was a little bit of a washout for me. So I need to I've got one of these now, these little loop-on grounds, which I was testing last night. Really, really good. Quite impressed. So so I'm going to get that set up regardless. My noise has dropped, but it was absolutely brilliant. And I can't wait to do it again. Really good. And it was just a good excuse.
It was, Colin. What radio was that? Sorry, 7300?
7300. So,
okay.
So I need to...
Well, there's a hack for the 7300 to be able to add a receive antenna to it.
There is, but I've got a 590S, and it's got two. But I've managed to get hold of one of these external. I think it's called an FAAS. It's a external antenna switch that sits on top of the 7300, and it gives you 4 antenna inputs.
Okay.
But you can configure it to have a receive only as well, so it's going to give me a lot of options.
Oh, nice. There. Yeah.
So
I love
do
options.
Do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do.
Chris, you had a blast as well, mate, didn't you?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm in a block of flats here, and I was, Jimbo. I said in the comments, he's a big supporter of your channel, my YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm in a block of flats, and I've never in my life had a pilot here in my flat. Obviously,
yeah.
Jimbo, he's never had a pilot because, he's got a better aerial than me, but he's just got it, spread around his garden the best he can do. But he had a pilot. Jimbo had a pilot for the first time, and I had an absolute blast, Matt. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Fantastic. We'll do it again. So
I want to do it again.
What antenna are you running in your flat?
Well, in my flat, I've got 2 areas. Well, I've got 3 mag loops. Do you remember I spoke to you on the live stream from the mag loop?
Yeah.
In the past, I spoke to you from the car. Do you remember? I spoke to you on 80 meters. 80 meters. That was very difficult. I'm in Kettering. And I've also got a bit of wire I've just thrown over the roof. But in the flat, it's very difficult. But it made all my contacts more valuable.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, mate.
I want to go to Dave, IE5, IMB. Dave, you and I don't really know each other, okay? And I'm not quite sure if I'm allowed to take the mickey out of you.
Why not? We do.
Go on. You might as well.
You've smile. Yeah,
you've
that was your first live stream as well, wasn't it, Dave? That was the first live stream you've done, Dave.
It's the first one on YouTube. Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So you were into the live stream. Kind of at the end of my stream, I thought, oh, there's Dave. He's up at 7198 or something, or whatever else. I bet he's running a load of numbers, right? So I go up there, and there you are reading the Telegraph almost with this bloke, right? And I'm thinking, get a freaking move on! I want to get you in the log, you bugger.
I know. I could hear you. Yeah, I could hear you. Kind of a little break here and there a bit early. I could hear you. Yeah.
So what gear were you running last Saturday?
Yeah, I was running, my shack's quite minimalist just because it's also my work desk. So I have a Yaesu FT891, so I still get the 100 watts, and it's absolutely perfect for what I need here. I do have a boom mic here as well, and I work a pedal for the PTT. Okay. Antenna-wise, I have just a homebrew fan dipole. I'm on probably version 3 of that now. I've sort of improved them as time has gone on, and it does 40, 20, and 10. And obviously you get 15 kind of on that as well as a bonus. So it's sort of a 4-bander, I suppose, for free. Yeah, so to be honest, it works perfect for me. I've had a lot of different types of antennas. Not one of yours now, I might add, but I have had different antennas here, and that just works the best. I can set it up, and it doesn't take up too much room along one line of the wall. So and it worked really well. It was really good fun. I have to say, it was great to work some of the guys. Yeah, I was chatting a bit, but to be honest with you, that's my style. Hey, to be honest, I wasn't. I know people were looking to work, but I still got through 68, and to make up for it, I stayed on for 2 hours instead of 1.
Well done. Okay, well, we won't sack you this time, Dave.
Thanks very much. Yeah, good.
And you're a nice, smiley man, actually. So if you next time, ladies and gentlemen, you hear IE5 IMB, give him a shout and make sure to ask him lots of questions and keep him on the radio for at least 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, Dave. We'll do James last because it's his stream as well. It's his Zoom account actually we're using. So at the bottom of my screen, I've got Jonathan, who just entered as we were going live. How are you doing, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm fine now. I've got everything working. I've decided not to go over to the studio tonight just because everything was here. That was cables and last Saturday that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. What were you running? I
was running exactly what I run every single time I go anywhere near my radio, 7300 with the end-fed half wave, barefoot 100 watts.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sings sometimes. And last Saturday it sang 82 in the log. I was only on for an hour and 8 minutes. And I had a jolly good laugh.
Yeah. Well, we can pass it on to James now and let him say something, but it was very close. There was 7 or 8 stations who got through to all of us, and I'm going to let James tell us all about that. And but there was a couple of stations who were the fastest, and unfortunately, because one of them started before 9 o'clock, we've decided to split the prize. Take a reel of DX10 and cut it in half right down the middle. No, what we're going to do is we're going to send DX10 wire to each. By the way, the kudos in this was the fun of it, wasn't the prize. Yeah, let's face it. James, what do you want to say?
We were just doing it for the fun of it, weren't we, at the end of the day? And actually, I mean, I made a slight mistake in the way that I worded this, because I said we'll give a prize to the first person to work everybody.
Yeah.
What I intended to say was the person that did it in the quickest time. What I did not factor in was the fact that the person who did it in the quickest time might have actually started, I think their first contact was at 9:30. So someone actually did it quicker than the winner today. So we got a little bit of controversy there, but I think if there's any doubt, I think we have to go by what's written in the rule book, which was how we actually publicised it, which is the person that did it first. So I think that's kind of the way we have to play it.
Right. I didn't know any rules. Sod it.
Well, neither did I.
Well, like we said, it was all a bit of fun, wasn't it? We were just having a bit of a laugh.
Yeah. So there was us 7 here. I think Stu was on as well. Was there anyone else? I haven't missed anyone out, have we?
Tim was going to go, but he dropped out due to bad weather. I think he had like 60-mile-an-hour winds on the coast or something. So he unfortunately he had to drop out. Who else did we have? Yeah, it was 8 of us.
That's fine. So there was 8 of us. All right then. So shall we read out all the call signs who got through to all of us? Who was that?
Okay, so there were 11 in total.
Yeah.
And how do we want to do it? Should we do this in reverse order?
Well, I was going to do it in random order just to get all the call signs out.
Okay, yep.
And then we'll go down the top 3 or something.
Okay, so I'm just going to do this in any random order then. I'll try not to get confused and mix it up. So in the top 11, we had M0KCV.
Right.
You had M0KKM.
Okay.
G0HEU.
Oh, yeah.
M0CXT.
Uh-huh.
We had M0DCX.
Uh-huh.
We had Mike 5 Delta Whiskey.
Oh, David walked to all of us, did he? Right.
There was a Mike 0 Mike Lima.
Uh-huh.
A 2 Mike 0 Romeo Oscar Tango.
Nice.
And the last one, which I haven't read yet, and special mention to this person, actually. He did it in 1 hour and 9 minutes and 8 seconds, and that is how accurate our adjudication was with Stu's computer software. We literally logged it down to the second.
Yeah.
Special mention to M5JFS, who actually was running 5 watts.
Never.
So he got through to all of us on 5 watts.
Is that right? Simon's given a thumbs up there. Do you know him, Simon?
Yeah, John, I've talked to him quite a lot on the satellite band, so well done, John. Excellent. On his 817, I believe.
So that's fantastic. Actually, someone actually did that on 5 watts, James.
And I wanted to make that point because I noticed in the comments there were a couple of people saying, "Oh, well, I'm only foundation. I've only got 10 watts."
Yeah.
And we did amongst ourselves in the WhatsApp group before we did this. We did say let's every so often just try and pause and give the foundations a chance.
I did that.
So
that's right.
I think we all did at some point. So I think what we've proven there is you can do it on 5 watts. Yeah,
that's
it's perhaps not as easy, but you can do it.
So what was this? All those people worked all of us. There was nobody else that actually worked all of us then, according to
it was just those 11 people managed to work all of us, which
so the guy
I actually thought there would be a few more than that. So it was actually a tougher challenge that we set than we thought.
The guy that came 11th, how long did it take him?
2 hours, 12 minutes and 13 seconds.
Okay, fine. All right, so in let's say in 5th place, how long did it take them?
5th place was 1 hour, 5 minutes and 3 seconds. That was M0KKM.
KKM, he did it in 1 hour, 5 minutes.
That's I did have a quick look on their QRZs. That's Kevin.
Okay. Kevin, well done. You're in 5th place. What about 4th? And who is it and how long did it take them?
Right, 4th is the person who actually did it in the shortest period of time. That's Julian, M0CXT, and he did it in 39 minutes and 17 seconds.
Okay.
So that is actually the fastest time we recorded. But
okay.
Because he didn't make the first contact. The first contact he made was at 29 minutes past 9 with Stu. Yeah. So he didn't start when everyone else started. Right.
So we'll do the first and second because that's really interesting, is it? But in 3rd place, what have we got?
3rd place is Kevin. He did it 55 minutes and 49 seconds. That's M0KCV, came 3rd.
KCV. When was his first contact?
Literally 37 seconds into the start.
Okay. And it took him how long, sorry, James?
55 minutes and 49 seconds.
All right, then. In 2nd place, who was that? Call sign and name.
That was M0 Tango Papa Tango. That was
that's David.
David, yeah.
Yeah.
So when was his first contact?
His first contact was at 1 minute past 9. That was with Stu, G5STU.
Yeah.
And his last contact was at 21:47, 54 seconds. So 21:58. And that was with Chris, was his last contact there.
Okay, fine. So now, it's a kind of a tie. So in first place on this chart is who?
G0HEU, that's Paul.
Yeah. And his first contact was 1 minute to 9. Is that right?
Yep. So
he did it in how long? He did it in how long?
47 minutes on the dot.
Yeah. Okay. So what we thought we'd do is, if we moved him forward 1 minute, effectively we've got a tie. All right. Between
there's 54 seconds in it, so it's near as damn it makes no difference.
We'll just give them a tie. So just give me the first names and call signs of the 2 winners then.
Okay, so in first place G0HEU, that was Paul.
Yeah.
And second place M0TPT is David.
David. All right. Well, I'll invite them to send an email to Loki LOKI at dxcommander.com and claim their reel of DX10. So fantastic. Now, I would open it up to live chat as well as ours. If we ever did this again, is there anything you would like to do differently? I mean, I'm not that creative when it comes to this. I enjoyed the night. It was really good fun. It was nice to know that there was other stations out there and it wasn't just me running the pile up. So it spread it out a bit. Do you know what I mean?
I think we all generated a pile-up because I watched the live streams for most of the other guys back afterwards, and they all had pile-ups. So I think we definitely generated a lot of activity on the bands.
Yeah.
I did wonder about...
It was right in the middle of that blooming contest as well.
Yeah, but honestly, I struggled with the first couple of contacts, but I think once the pile-up started, it kind of drove people away a bit.
Made a gap.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't cause me too many problems. I struggled a bit with one or two of the QRP stations, but all in all, it didn't cause me too much grief, to be honest. I mean, I have quite a high noise floor anyway. I'm about an S6, S7 noise here.
Okay.
So I struggled a bit.
Simon, if we did it again, I mean, we just rerun it, the similar thing, 2 hours, Saturday night?
I was getting a lot of guys asking me to go up to the higher bands from across the pond and places like that. So maybe next time we might have a bit of that.
I ran some 20 and 15 myself, but
I did a couple. But it was just too great fun.
It was slow. It was hard.
Away. I really enjoyed it. So brilliant. Can't complain. Fantastic.
What about you, Colin? Did you enjoy it, and would you want to run it again?
Yeah, definitely. But I think not 2 nights are ever going to be the same. You know, we're nearly into August, so you know when we talk about another date, you know, energy is going to be changing certainly on 40. So it's going to make it a bit of a different dynamic. But I think we should just go. We should just go with it because you know.
But don't do it at CQ Worldwide weekend.
Exactly.
Okay. What about you, Chris? Did we change the format at all? Do we have our 2-meter rig open as well? That people come in faster.
I must admit, I thought we were going to have problems. I don't want to say, you know, we're live on YouTube, you know, the interference. I thought, but it was great. Everything worked well, so that was a concern. But a worldwide version would be awesome, but how to coordinate it, that'd be very difficult.
Wow.
I think that would be a bit too much for challenge. I have considered opening it up European-wide. There's a couple of European stations which would like to get involved. Morton, whose live stream I've just come from, he'd like to get involved. So maybe get him involved, and maybe German or French station or something. I don't know.
If it goes too big and we get too broad, you know, we can soon bring it back in again and have it just back to a smaller area, can't we? We can try it. If it doesn't work, that's the thing about ham radio. You try it. If something doesn't work, you have to think about it. And
we don't want to make it too much of a challenge. I mean, we got, an hour, 2 hours for everybody to work, all of us, and only 11 people made it this time round. So I'm reluctant to let it get too big and too out of hand. It just makes it too challenging.
And it was worldwide. We could say, you know, it wouldn't be someone that works all of them. It's the person that works most of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, I'm not bragging or anything, because I think he worked for a couple of us, but there's quite a big VK station, isn't there? I know he worked me on 20 meters. I had a couple of interesting on 15, but I mean, I think it's up to us really to move it. I mean, I personally don't think we should have any more than kind of 8 or 9 in our band. If it just gets, how many people do you want to work? It just becomes a regular contest then. But if there's 1 or 2, a couple of French stations, I think because it's a Saturday night and it's 80-40, there's going to be some DX on 15 and 20. But a lot of the UK boys who are just bored shitless, fiddle around with the radio tonight. Why not? So it's going to be our time zone and our type people in the main. That's how I did. Now, Alan said, Alan Reader, what did he say? Perhaps some other categories, the furthest from you all, the DX award. Well, that was that VK2 fella, I forget his name now. But, and then, of course, I'm a competitive sort of guy. I like to win, and I know I did. But on average,
I think for most of us, it was just get on the air, have some fun. There was no real competition behind it. We were just having a laugh.
I know. I wasn't there. Oh, I thought there was maximum number of countries, fastest run, all that stuff. I'm pulling your leg. James, but on average, we did 80 or 90 apiece on average, which is fantastic. It's really good fun.
James, who was the quickest of us to work everybody else?
Ooh.
I don't actually know, to be honest. I don't have that in front of us.
The first, I know who it is. So the first of us to work. Okay, who came first or second? It's got on that chart you've got the last person worked.
Last
station on the chart. Stu's...
Well, none of us have appeared on there, but I don't know if that's down to how Stu filtered it.
Oh, right.
Did anyone work everyone? Because I didn't manage to get Colin. So
I see what you mean.
I worked everyone.
I don't know. I worked Dave, and I've got no idea. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, in fact,
I think the way Stu's filtered this out, it's only it's taken us out of it.
I
Callum, you spoke to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There would be. I think it just has to be a bit of fun.
You want another way to win, Callum. You want another way to win. That's what it is.
Because that's actually quite difficult, having to work everybody and trying to work ours as well. I mean, that's kind of hard. Good fun, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, well, what I did, I started off on 40 metres and just kept going. It was about an hour till the pile-up dried up, and then I just went around sniping people up after that.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I kind of had two major pile-ups in the evening. One that sort of fizzled out about 20 past 9, at which point I worked 3 of you guys. And then when my second pile-up finished about 10 to 10, I mopped up the rest.
Yeah.
I have to say, Jonathan, I watched your live stream back afterwards when you were trying to call through to me, and I had one guy just before you who kept going on about the weather and everything. I don't think he was. I don't think he was part of it. I think he literally just spun the dial and found this pile up. Thought, oh, what's going on there? I'll call in. And I don't want to slag people off publicly, but I just could not get rid of him. And I watched your live stream afterwards. You were sat there going, I see you were thinking exactly what I was thinking there. And we had a little keyword guy. I don't know if any of the viewers picked up on it, but I think a couple of people were a bit confused when Jonathan told me he had friends in Madrid, and I responded with yes, but it's raining in France. I think that confused a few people. It was
we came up with a code word to try and get through to each other, didn't we? It's raining in Madrid or something. I have friends in Paris or something like that. That was funny. But I tell you what might be quite good fun is that on the half hour, has everybody got 80 meters here?
No, I don't have it actually.
In a manner of speaking, I can kind of butcher it with a tuner.
Okay, fine. It would have just been fun to sort of, at the half past the hour, we do a 15-minute blast on 18, whatever.
I have to say that was my difficulty in getting Chris, because Chris was the only one of us at the time that I worked him on 80. And you weren't all that strong, Chris, so you were the hardest one to get.
Yeah, well, I was at Jimbo's house. Me and Jimbo, we have trouble getting through to Callum normally on the live stream. So we work Callum, but you couldn't work us. Whereabouts? Just remind us, where are you?
I'm South Oxfordshire.
Yeah.
It's not far from.
It's just my noise floor. On the bit of the band that Chris was on 80 metres, I've got a bit of a spike on my noise floor, which doesn't help.
All right. Okay, so we've done that, and we'll do it again. Anything else you want to do? Do you want a digital night or anything, or do you want a written? Do you want a PSK night or
Hellschreiber?
Hellschreiber. Well, one of the weird things. Yeah, work all Zoom.
SSTV. Imagine how slow that'd be. That'd be nearly slower than me.
Yeah, a 10-hour session to get 8 of us. Yeah. Chief, I don't know. He's gone.
I'm not so sure that digital, if we're going to be live streaming it, I'm not sure it's quite as visually entertaining, is it?
I know.
The question is, though, is that whether we should incorporate, I mean, I know that obviously Chris is very big on digital voice modes, and I'm somewhat of a fan. Whether we open up to, doing things like D-Star or DMR or Fusion.
Yes. I don't think we get the numbers, though, but Tom's picked up as well definitive time slots for 80, 40, 20, 10, things like that. It would be fun. It would be fun.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually as well. Maybe have actual time slots that we switch band. At least you can sort of cut loose from a pile up and just, if that's what we've decided amongst ourselves, just sort of, it's whatever band this time, next band, and a cut-off time as well, I suppose.
That's right. It forces everybody to change and have a bit of a laugh.
If you're going to do that, you need to make sure that we can all do all bands, though. I mean, like some of us haven't got 80, for example.
Well,
so
get a 6-inch nail and tune the shit out of it.
I think you will need 80 for if we do this later on, and you're going to work into G. I think you don't have to, but I mean, I could rig something up here. But I think
same here. I'd be able to set something up too as well. Like,
I'm sure it can't be that hard. I mean, I've put all sorts of stuff for 80, even at fence height, you know. All right, well, James, and I know you're streaming exactly the same thing as I am at the moment, but I'm worried about pushing the boundaries of people's time and things like that. I had a good time. I would like to keep it the same, other than the fact I'd like to investigate maybe a voluntary code where, you know, at the half hour you just change band or change frequency or swap frequencies. That's fun. Dave and Callum have to, you know, you have a partner, you have to swap frequencies. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Just change band every 30 minutes. You just have to have a band change, you know, just for the hell of it.
Yeah, because we all started off on 40, didn't we? And then we all kind of spread out. And I think people were scattering backs and forwards trying to find us. I mean, for me, I'd like to get Morton. There'll be 0 FI in the next one round. He's dead keen, so I think we'll bring him in the next time round if we can.
Lovely.
My only personal hesitation with going to the higher bands and saying I'm trying to work a bit more DX is that I don't think I've got the power to hold a DX pile-up frequency. That's my problem. Is I would be fine in calling in with 100 watts, but with only 100 watts, like I couldn't hold a frequency. On 40 meters into G on that night and probably tonight as well, I'd have no problem in holding a frequency.
Yeah, and it's
I
great.
only had 50 watts. Remember, I only had 50 watts, 2E0. So.
You're operating on a quieter band, and if we're going to say 20 meters, for instance, we're going to start working VK, ZLs, and really bringing a big pile up internationally.
I mean, I didn't even.
That's going to be
pile up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if I left it a bit late, but I think I only made one contact on 20 meters in the end, so I gave up on that. I think someone came straight from you, Callum, and called me, and it was an American somewhere.
Okay. I do think if we're going to do this again, I think 80, particularly in the evening and as it gets into the winter, 40 and 80 is going to be good fun. It could be, work all of us on 40 and work all of us on 80, It could be quite good fun as well.
Well, especially if we're scheduling it with time, so we do half hour on 40, half hour on 80.
Yeah,
then
come back again.
Then maybe half hour, whatever band you want, if you want to do one of the upper bands. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm going to
or should you say back to 40 or something.
Everybody.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Well, a big thank you to Callum for joining us tonight and doing most of the hosting work here. And thanks to all the other guys as well for joining in. Like I say, we'll do it later in the year. Tentatively, we're looking at maybe sometime middle of September, but yet to be confirmed. We'll put something out nearer the time.
Lovely. Well done, James.
Well done, everybody.
Okay.
Yep.
Shall we say
thanks
cheerio?
Let's say good night. 7-3. And I hit the button here. It's all
73
over.
guys.
I'll just stay here for